Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're taking a first look at the Surrey Langley Skytrain project. While major construction won't get underway until early 2024, I wanted to get out to Surrey and see the area as it exists prior to the line going in and changing the area. This video will outline the history of the project, the planned route, station areas, and the future conditions. Whether you're watching this video now in 2023, or in 5 years as the project nears completion, I hope you'll find this interesting. Let's start off with some background about this project. This is a 16-kilometer, fully grade separated extension of the Expo line from the current terminus at King George Station in Surrey City Centre to 203 Street in downtown city of Langley. The line will follow along Fraser Highway from King George Station to approximately 200 Street in the city of Langley. It will consist of 8 new stations with 3 major transit exchanges and is expected to be completed in late 2028 at a cost of around 4 billion Canadian dollars. Travel time between King George Station and the new terminus in Langley will be about 22 minutes, whereas Langley to Waterfront is expected to take about 62. Originally planned in 2 phases, the first of which would have terminated at 166th Street in Fleetwood, but was later promised as a single-phase project during the 2020 BC provincial election. Being built as a single phase has pros and cons. Over $500 million will be saved doing it as a single phase, and the line will reach the city of Langley more than 2 years sooner. But as a 2-phase project, Fleetwood would have had service starting as early as 2026. In 2012, then City Council proposed a significantly cheaper light rail system that could be built faster and serve a wider area of Surrey. The 27-kilometer master plan had lines running to Newton Exchange, Guildford Exchange, and eventually the city of Langley Centre, with Surrey Central acting as the main hub. However, studies showed that the ground-level LRT wouldn't be faster than buses, it would have an increased risk of accidents due to lack of grade separation, and capacity would be inadequate within 15 years, and it would suffer from a large annual operating deficit. Thankfully, better sense prevailed, and the plan was scrapped in 2018 with the change of municipal government. The federal government allocated $1.37 billion to fund the LRT in 2018, which was then transferred to the Skytrain project. That brings us to where we are now, starting off at the current terminus of the Expo line at King George Station. Opened in March of 1994, you can clearly see how the short stub track was pointed down Fraser Highway for a future extension. The first new station is just 1 kilometer away at 140th Street on the west side of Green Timbers Urban Forest Park. The station will straddle Fraser Highway, with the entrance on the northeast corner of the intersection. This station is right on the edge of the official Surrey City Centre plan. While some mid-density structures have been built recently, the remaining single-family homes in the area will almost certainly be torn down and replaced with higher density. Fraser Highway through the urban forest has already been widened in preparation for the guideway that will run down the center of the road to the next station at 152nd Street. One 52nd Street is the first of 3 stations in the new Fleetwood area plan. The plan, which also includes 160th and 166th Street stations, proposed dense urban cores directly around the stations, with high-rises reaching up to 36 stories at 160th and a max of 30 stories at 152nd. 166 will have lower density, with the details still being finalized. Currently, 152nd suffers from car-dominant urban sprawl, with lots of old small businesses, large box stores, and parking lots in almost every direction. Signs of change are apparent though, with several small businesses already closed awaiting demolition. The station will be on the north side of Fraser Highway, just west of 152nd, with the station entrance facing the intersection. 2 kilometers further along, we reach 160th Street, which will be the new core area of Fleetwood. Much like 152nd, 160th is ripe for redevelopment, with small businesses and car-centric strip malls surrounding the immediate area. Although off in the distance you can see more newer mid-density townhomes. The future 160th station will be built on this lot on the northeast corner. The line will also be on the north side of Fraser Highway through the whole Fleetwood area. The last station in Fleetwood will be here at 166th Street. Tim Hortons and part of the parking lot on the north side of Fraser Highway will be removed to make way for the new station in the first of 3 major transit interchanges. This also marks the end of what would have been the first phase of the project. Looking around, you can see more dense housing is already in place, with more developments going up. A side note about the station names. For now, the street names are just placeholders before the final station names are released. We'll expect to see those in the coming year. Before the line can enter the Clayton Heights area, it must cross through the Agricultural Land Reserve, or ALR for short. The line will cross over Fraser Highway and run on its southern side through the ALR. When done, it'll be the longest distance between two stations on the entire network, taking nearly 5 minutes to travel between 166th and 184th. Unfortunately, the soil conditions that make the area great for agriculture don't play nicely with heavy construction. A borehole survey in 2021 revealed that the columns to support the guideway in this area will need piles sunk between 40 and 90 meters in depth to reach stable soils suitable for construction. While that will add cost and complexity to the project, it's not a deal breaker. On the topic of columns and guideways, compared to the ongoing Broadway subway project, link in the description if you haven't seen my ongoing series about it, the SLS is a relatively simple line to construct. With the extension exclusively running along Fraser Highway, there's no need for tunnels, sharp curves, or complex interchanges. The guideway will be built on columns and used precast segments lifted into place by an overhead cantilever truss system, much like what was used on the original Millennium Line and Evergreen extension. To support the new line, another new Operations and Maintenance Center, or OMC for short, will be built in Surrey. Known as OMC 5, the location hasn't been publicly announced yet, but expect to hear more about that in the coming year. The $500 million yard is expected to start construction in a couple of years and will be completed before the line opens. Moving along to 184th, the future station will be on the north side of Fraser Highway. This vacant lot will be transformed into the new station area, which also marks the start of the Clayton Corridor Plan. Much like Fleetwood, the Clayton Corridor Plan will see dense towers popping up immediately surrounding the station, with mid-density structures fanning out in most directions. 184th will see towers between 6 and 15 stories tall, whereas just down the road at 190th, towers closest to the station will top out between 16 and 20 stories tall, with more 6-story mid-rise buildings in the surrounding area. Over time, the road network surrounding both stations will be changed to a more grid-like arrangement to improve connectivity for walking and cycling. Both area plans have a major emphasis on creating high-quality cycling and walking infrastructure to promote more active transportation. As for the exact location of the future 190th station, I think it'll be here on the north side where some single-family homes have been removed over the past few years. This conceptual graphic is a bit hard to locate, so please let me know where you think it is in the comments below. As we leave Surrey, the station at 196 will be roughly where the white spot sits currently on the north side of Fraser Highway in the township of Langley. Because as I learned while researching this project, Langley is in fact two cities, the township of Langley and the city of Langley. Moving on, the second of 3 major transit exchanges will be built here. The area is ripe for development with a sea of parking lots and large box stores in almost every direction. The city of Langley has a new official community plan in place for major redevelopment spurred on by the arrival of Skytrain to the city, with a goal of increasing density, housing options, employment opportunities, public transport, and safety amongst other key pillars. The final station on the line will be at 203rd Street in the city of Langley, departing from Fraser Highway and traveling along Industrial Ave for the short section, terminating over this vacant lot just east of 203rd Street. I'd love to show you a drone shot of this area, but we're in a restricted flight zone due to the proximity of the Langley Regional Airport. Only the crows will be flying today. Being the final station, the third transit exchange will be built here with many bus bays for connecting around the area. I'm sure bus drivers will be excited for the upgraded layover facilities as well. Some new developments have already gone up in the area in anticipation of the line. Expect to see many of these old one-story buildings disappearing over the next several years. If all goes as planned, we'll be riding out here come late 2028. As per this video series, I plan on making quarterly videos to show the construction progress once main work gets underway early in 2024. Keep an eye out for my video next month on the new Operations and Maintenance Yard 4, which major construction has finally started on. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you all next time.